Here's 3 main reasons why people don't book a bike fit. At UK Bike Fit, we get loads of inquiries before people book a bike fit. So we get to know why people don't end up booking bike fits and what are the main concerns people have before they end up coming to see us. So in this video, we're going to attempt to address those concerns and show you why they shouldn't be holding you back. So one of the main concerns that we hear before people book a bike fit with us is that they've had a bike fit before, but they still have a certain amount of problems with their position, and why should they book another bike fit if the one they've had previously hasn't helped them? So the thing to note here is that not all bike fits are the same, and not all bike fitters work in the same way, and different bike fitters have sort of specialities in other areas and different areas. Like some might be really good at aero bike fits and some might be good at race bike fits. We're all physiotherapists here and we're quite good at dealing with pain and injury and anyone struggling with discomfort on the bike. So not every bike fit is going to be the same, and in fact every bike fit will probably be different in some way or another. So if you've had a bike fit or seen a bike fitter that hasn't quite worked for you, that doesn't mean that bike fit hasn't worked for you. It just means that that particular experience isn't the right one to suit your needs at that time. And it's also important to, do your research into the bike fit and the bike fitter that you want to see, and make sure that before you go and see that person that they are someone who is going to suit your needs and suit what the goals are that you want to achieve from that bike fit. I say a lot that the main problem with bike fitting as an industry, as a profession, is that it's unregulated, so that anyone can sort of call themselves a bike fitter and buy an iPad or use an app or pretend that they can give you a certain level of service. Whereas in the industry that we come from as physiotherapists, it's very different in that it's all regulated. You have to have a certain level of qualification, you have to have a physiotherapy degree. So I think that is something that doesn't help people be very skeptical about bike fits and bike fitters, in the sense that anyone can become that. And we do get a lot of people come to us because they want to see someone who's a bit more qualified and has a degree behind them. Another good resource to use if you're looking at getting a bike fit and want to make sure that your bike fitter is at least somewhat qualified and has spent some level of time and money on themselves and developing themselves as a bike fitter is the IBFI, which is the International Bike Fitting Institute. And on there is a list of bike fitters who have all had certain levels of qualification and done certain levels of training, so that you at least know that that fitter has spent a considerable amount of time and importance on themselves to make sure that they are properly qualified to be your bike fitter. So another concern or query that we get before someone books a bike fit with us is that they say, I want to book a bike fit, but I'm scared or I'm worried that you're going to tell me that my frame size is wrong. And I guess that's a legitimate fear, but ultimately it's very, very rare that we ever get a bike or a frame size that is so wrong that it isn't adjustable in ways that's at least going to help you to relieve the symptoms that you're struggling with. It may well be the case that your frame size or frame geometry isn't perfect and ideal for you right now, but the adjustable components on the bike, there's a lot of things that we can do to make that bike fit you, and you can ride comfortably, and you can, whatever the problems is that you're experiencing with that frame, we can make it comfortable and work for you. And then in future, we can manipulate your fit measurements and your frame geometry measurements to allow you to buy a more suitable frame in the future. So when you're having that bike fit, you're actually not just investing in that one bike, but you're investing in a set of measurements that you can use to make sure that when you make your next purchase, you can buy the right bike first time. And then worst case scenario, if you bring a bike into us where whatever we do in terms of adjusting that bike with different components, it's just not going to work for you, we can come over to the jig, we can start from scratch, we can get you a set of ideal, perfect measurements that you can then use for your future purchase whenever you're next buying a bike, to make sure that you don't make that same mistake again. The third concern that we get asked a lot before people book a bike fit is that they think they're not a good enough cyclist, or they're just a very beginner cyclist, or they only ride 2 or 3 hours a week, so they don't feel like they're good enough to have a bike fit. But they're still struggling with some sort of aches or pains or discomforts or injuries that is stopping them from enjoying their cycling. And I guess that is the point, that the bike fit is not about how good you are at cycling or about how good your bike is. It's more about, are you enjoying what you're doing on the bike, and can a bike fit make that more enjoyable by removing those aches and pains and discomforts? And if the answer to that question is yes, then the bike fit's still going to really, really benefit you. And I think that's the point that gets lost a lot in bike fit, is that it's normally all about aero and speed and power and, you know, making sure that you're as fast as possible, when actually a bike fit is more about helping you enjoy the type of cycling that you want to do and not let any aches or pains or injuries get in the way of that. So I really want to get across that please don't think you're not good enough or you don't ride enough to be able to benefit from a bike fit. We do work from complete beginners right up through to top level professionals. But what we actually find is that it is the more recreational cyclists or the cyclists that don't ride as much or as often, because they are the riders that stand to gain the most from a bike fit, because there's more improvements to be made. It's actually the pro cyclists that can get away with a lot more, or the riders that are spending more time on the bike, the younger riders, the more flexible riders that can ride in a range of different positions and be sort of suboptimal, but still get away with it, and they won't create any pain or injury because they are younger, they're riding more. And actually it's those riders that are probably a bit older and have jobs, usually desk jobs where you're not as active, and then you go out and ride, and those are the riders that need optimizing more, because you can't get away with those suboptimal positions that the younger professional riders can get away with. So hopefully that has addressed some of your concerns. If you were thinking about booking a bike fit but were held back in some way, hopefully that's helped. And if you do have any more questions specific to you, then feel free to head over to our website at ukbikefit.com. You can find all of our contact information on there. And if you want to see more of this sort of stuff, don't forget to follow or like or subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.